This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Looking to challenge for that spot.
That truck jumping sideways broke his momentum just enough to allow him to lose that spot to Buscher as well. Oh, look, he's sideways.
Completely sideways into the fence and now into the wall goes the 3 of Austin Dillon. That will bring out our first caution.
Guys, that's our point leader. We talked about before the race.
Get a flat tire.
He was so
Flat
loose
tire, guys.
through 1 and 2. We made comments about that.
Well, we talked about before the race, crashes could affect this championship.
Another look.
Here he is coming off turn 4. He's going to get a little bit sideways right here. Almost saves it. Just kisses that outside wall. Parker Kligerman does an incredible job to avoid him.
He was down in turn 1 and 2, had the same thing happen. Got sideways, and this time it got all the way away from him.
Dive.
It's amazing. We didn't see a whole lot of trouble yesterday during practice. It was warm, but these guys running together, the dirty air really affects these trucks.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of action for sure. And when we talked about accidents before the race even started, maybe
Problems for Pappas. Pappas goes into the wall.
Right front straightaway. Caution's out.
Max Pappas, a lot of damage to the front end of that race truck.
looks a whole lot like Austin Dillon.
Watch coming off turn 4. You see the 66 of Max Gresham to the outside. Is Max going to squeeze up? Oh, Gresham gets a little bit sideways and then comes down into Max.
Yeah, there was
Max maybe looked like he was coming up as well.
a couple of contributing factors there. One guy,
He'll take the lead.
What did I ask you, Michael?
that if Hornaday would leave.
Oh, and around goes the 4 of Ricky Carmichael. He's going to slide back up into the field. Catches Cale Gale.
Brian
Also,
Eichler.
Brian Eichler in the mix.
Miguel Paludo, the 7, is in the middle of that with a lot of damage.
Man, those guys just had a terrible front straightaway. Hornaday went high. There was plenty of room for Carmichael to run the middle of the road. He got down there with Johnny Sauter, laying on Sauter, and by the time they got to turn 1, excuse me, this was the result.
That's Miguel Paludo in the 7. You can't see him because of the hood accordioned up in front of him. What a disappointing run this has to be for Ricky Carmichael after taking the lead on the restart, getting passed by Hornaday coming into turn number 1, and then sideways he goes into 1.
Look at all the damage to the rear of that monster Chevrolet.
Well, that truck there, the 18 of Brian Eichler, he was all the way up to the trans.
They're 3 wide there for second, and there was the contact.
Looked like Johnny Sauter came up a little bit. Ricky Carmichael was halfway in the middle of that 3-wide battle. Wow. Look at the damage there when Brian Eichler makes contact with Ricky, and Miguel Paludo also with nowhere to go. He was right behind Eichler.
Did you see how far that 18 truck went up under?
Just about to the windshield.
Yes, sir.
Of the 18 truck.
You can see there, Johnny Sauter angled him, made himself an angle for the turn, and Ricky Carmichael happened to be up above him, making contact and sending Ricky at about 175 miles an hour, spinning down toward turn 1 and all that oncoming traffic. Look at the front of that truck, totally devastating. Talking about these guys running wide open in practice yesterday. Oh, Todd says, move over a little bit, Johnny. I need some space.
Need a little extra space here.
There's not going to be a whole lot of wide open here
and
today.
into the infield. Max Gresham in the 66 and the 73 of Brent Raymer goes sideways. Raymer in the grass. Gresham back up on the racetrack.
With the oil running out of it.
Brent Raymer gets a little bit loose. Max really with nowhere to go was right behind him, and he's just going to carry each other right into the infield here.
Another couple of trucks.
Whoa, look at Max get airborne.
Across that quarter-mile racetrack right in the infield here.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of truckers, like I talked about, enjoying the fact that this track is so slick and things are so mixed up that they're really having some strong runs. There's Hornaday.
Problems behind Hornaday. Blake Feast in the 32.
Is that James Buscher? Our point leader right now?
James Buscher in the 31. Extensive damage to that truck.
Well, boys, let's just bring Timothy Peters and Ron Hornaday back in this point battle. What do you think?
Right back into this point battle.
And then Austin Dillon just went to the garage. He was picking up spot after spot with all these crashes, and now he's in the garage.
Right. Blake Feast in the 32. James Buscher in the 31.
Yeah, Blake just gets loose right in front of James. James absolutely nowhere to go. Gets pinned up against the outside wall.
We talked earlier that James just didn't seem to have the truck to run toward the front with, running back there in 14th or 15th. Another truck spins around in front of him.
He's going to get by now to take over the 3rd spot. He restarted 10th back on lap number 52, so 7 laps. Joey Coulter, just as you said, Michael.
Yeah, more than just that tire going down. He's got some suspension damage, that 22 back into the wall. That brings the caution out for the 7th time today.
Yeah, you called it exactly,
Coming low,
Michael.
Joey. Coming low.
Well,
We're not halfway. 7 cautions. We aren't halfway.
Right,
I'm going to
right
need a
down.
relief commentator.
When you get into the wall as hard as Joey did earlier, you have some pretty significant damage. They didn't spend a great deal of time on pit road, so he goes down in the corner and looks like maybe something cut that right front tire again.
2 by 2, all the way back through 10th spot as they come down the backstretch.
Crafton's pushing Hornaday. Peters is pushing the 13 of Sauter.
Got to be on a strong run on the bottom of the racetrack for Johnny Sauter. He pulled.
Oh, trouble!
Right behind our leaders, into the wall, hard contact.
Justin Lofton looked like he might have gotten clipped and turned into the outside wall. Brendan,
And
right in
back
front
up
of
the
Cale
racetrack.
Gale.
Cale Gale gets caught up in this.
Holy cow.
9th caution comes out, debris all over the racetrack.
Cale just truck looks just like Brian Eichler's did when he ran into Ricky Carmichael.
Lofton was running in the 6th spot, Phil, when he had trouble going down the back straightaway.
This may be a couple more positions for Austin Dillon. A lot of damage to that green Chevrolet of Cale Gale.
Getting Ron out of that 2 truck. They better put a 2 on that truck if they want him to drive it.
Wow, Cale looked like he was at full speed when Justin came back up the racetrack.
Well, Witt, Crystal.
Well, Cole Witt has been through a little bit of everything today. They got the jack stuck on an earlier stop. They've been tight. They've even been under power, but he just keeps hanging in there. And talk about taking advantage of opportunities. He came into this race 2nd in the Rookie of the Year standings.
Jason White and Jennifer Jo Cobb into the wall, bringing out our 10th caution here at Las Vegas.
Now, how the heck did that happen?
We saw Jason White's truck that was losing power but and trailing smoke behind it.
Wonder if that was a flat tire maybe on Jason's truck.
Look at the right. Was that rubber
right?
from the right front tire that just came off?
Yeah, Jason would have been wise to get to pit road right there.
And how smart is that of Austin Dillon? He saw that something was going to happen, didn't want to be on the outside of that 23, so slowed up, went to the inside.
We thought it was an engine problem. It's not an engine problem. He's going to get down to the corner. It's not going to turn. Jennifer's going around the outside. That's a situation where if she would have...
Timothy Peters side by side for the 3rd position. Behind them, they're racing side by side for spots.
Oh, Blake Feast gets turned.
Feast sideways in the 32, trying to stay off the wall. Cole Witt in that Fuel Doctor 60 avoids. Blake Feast stops on the inside wall. Still no caution has come out.
If he gets moving, then we'll not throw the caution flag.
Matt Crafton trying to close the gap between he and the 2 of Hornaday. Timothy Peters back 0.8 of a second from race leader Ron Hornaday. Then behind Peters, Todd Bodine, Johnny Sauter battling for that 4th spot. Top 5 have separated themselves from the field.
Johnny's trying to get to the inside of Todd Bodine. Todd's keeping that momentum up on the high side. Johnny pulls on even with him now as they enter 3.
Johnny Sauter trying to take that 4th spot away from Todd Bodine. Sauter, yesterday, the best truck in practice. Hornaday wins the pole. And now trying to win the race. Just 3 laps of racing to go.
Johnny Sauter was behind Timothy Peters. It looked like Timothy got out in front of Ron a little bit on that restart, had to slow down, and Ron took advantage of that. Jumped, got a good start. It hurt Peters and it hurt Johnny Sauter as well.
Great restart for Matt Crafton. He was on it. He was able to grab that 2nd spot from 4th.
So Hornaday working his way through 3 and 4, where most of the action has taken place already today. Just 2 more times around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 3 miles remain in this race. Ron Hornaday continuing with the momentum that he had in Kentucky, grabbing his 50th career win.
Got a slow truck down on the inside of the back, Phil.
Yeah, clean racetrack though if that truck stays down on the bottom.
Hornaday and Crafton 1 and 2, separated by a half a second. Hornaday's going to see the white flag one more time around for win number 51.
White flag right here.
And will he go 2 for 2 in this 2 truck?
It will be a huge day for Ron Hornaday if he's able to stay out front. He'll be able to notch another racetrack as far as getting a win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a place he has never gone to victory lane. The final 2 turns coming out of turn number 4. Ron Hornaday is on a roll. Win number 51.
Thank you so much. Let me drive this thing. This is cool.
That's heartfelt right there too, Phil, isn't it?
He said, this is cool.
You know what that's like to get in something that goes like that. Awesome.
An amazing run once again for Ron Hornaday. Crafton finishes second. Peter, Sauter, and Bodine, your top 5. We're going to hear from Ron Hornaday. Stay with NASCAR Race Day coming up next. And then Speed Center later on this evening for in-depth coverage of post-race action from Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.